Good afternoon, good day, good morning, good evening, depending with where you are watching us from. I wish to welcome you to this session. I'm grateful that we're able to join together and grow together. And today I'll be talking about personal self-care. I'll be giving a few tips on how we can be able to deliberately have some activities that take care of our emotional, our mental, our physical health, and ultimately the spiritual health. And you will recognize that we are living in a time that we are bombarded by so many activities. There's a sense of overwhelming, issues that are surrounding us. The economy has not spared us. We are having children in the house. We are having people who need jobs. We have things that are surrounding us, not only individually, but also as a country, maybe as a family. We are surrounded by overwhelming activities. And most of the activities are those that require our personal involvement. So the few things that we can do as individuals, because you realize this same body is the one that is required to do this, is the same one that is required to make this decision. So as an individual, how do you take care of yourself? Self-care tips for your own health. And I will begin by saying that you have to know that no one can do it for you. As in taking charge of your life. Do not neglect yourself to the expense of thinking that someone else should do it for me. Doing it as in someone else can take care of your health. It has to be a personal and deliberate choice. Making that intentional move that I need health spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, taking charge that I have to be the captain of my own ship. So what are some of these self-care tips? Maybe one of them could be knowing how to keep healthy boundaries, knowing when to call it off, knowing when I can sustain a relationship that probably is draining me. We are living with people, even ourselves. We could be toxic to ourselves, or we could be living with people who are actually toxic. Anything they say or they do concerning us is toxic. So how do we maintain such health boundaries? Know when to call it off. Know when to say that I can't be able to tolerate this relationship anymore. Having a safe boundary and a healthy boundary to the extent, don't also overgive yourself to others, neglecting yourself. The other thing is taking a break out of maybe things that you watch, the phones. Say that when I come into the house, I do not want to touch that phone. Let me have my me time with myself. Let me have me time with the family. Let me have me time with the people who matter to me. Have that safe space that you can actually know that I need to be with my family. Take a break probably from the phones or even from watching a movie or even, take a break from those things that take your time so much. The other thing could be normalizing disruptions, that you are not the person who say has to be this way. Normalize that disruptions are part of life. Normalize that you may have planned that I'll have this issue done at this time, but who knows? Sometimes you're not even in charge of, like you can say, I'll be doing this session every other Wednesday. I need to normalize it that sometimes an interruption may come. I may fall sick. I'm not saying that I fall sick, but I may fall sick. Or the cameras that day will not be working. Or there will be no power. Normalize disruptions. Don't think that it is always your way or the highway. Always have a flexibility in your mind that things can change. We also so during the disruption of the pandemic that we will learn to adjust ourselves. When you learn to know that disruptions come in our way, you'll be able to move on very fast. The other thing, know that you can break a project into smaller goals. That sometimes we have a tendency of thinking that this project has to come in a full package. Learn to break it into smaller goals. Learn to break it in a way that I know I can achieve this at a later date. When you look at the physical bit of it, issues like even taking a rest, sleeping, You know, when I was reading the story of Elijah when he was told to eat and drink for the journey is yet too long. He had to take a break. He had to sleep, you know. Take off some of these breaks. They will actually relieve your physical tiredness. They'll relieve you from feeling overwhelmed. They'll make your mind more focused, even to deal with issues that are boggling you. If you look at the issues of the mental side, how are your emotions? How are you, no, am I getting a trigger of probably anger? What are these small things that are making me uh, emotionally not healthy? You know, look at your thought pattern. Look at your insights. How am I even, am I having a focused way of looking at issues? You know, avoid environments that are making you not be able to be focused very well, you know. And then the other thing, if it is the issues of the spiritual, what am I feeding my spirit, you know. Read the word of God, pray, fast, equip yourself spiritually, equip yourself with the word of God, with the knowledge of God. Have people who can mentor you into things, and then acknowledge that I cannot be able to do all these things without God, you know. And as Christians, we have many, many references of how we can get help. So it is very important. Have personal self-care. Take care of yourself. Treat yourself, you know. Go for that outing. Go and do your hair very well. Go and do those nails very well. Go and do those, you know, buy yourself some coffee. And you realize that with time, you're able to actually be in charge of your body. You'll not be feeling like a robot. You're running left, right, center without taking the same care of the same body that is supposed to give itself to the activities that are ahead of you. Otherwise, let's learn to have self-care for ourselves. Take those breaks. Take care of your emotional health, your physical health, your spiritual health, your mental health. And we know that even Jesus himself in Luke 2:52, he grew before God, in favor before God and also before men. And we are told that he grew in stature, you know, in strength. May we yearn to grow that wholesome health in wisdom. You know, we enlighten ourselves with the knowledge of the books that helps us to grow mentally. You know, taking care of ourselves. Jesus used to take some breaks off. So don't feel guilty. Don't self-condemn yourself so much when sometimes you feel so overwhelmed. You can actually take charge of yourself and have self-care as a person. The Lord bless you. The Lord keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. Thank you.